Thunderbolt, since you can choose your power, give yourself the power to multiply objects. We'll need more pairs of sunglasses.
Sublimation.
The finale of Miraculous Ladybug's 5th season promised many changes moving forward. Most notably, Marinette gave every wielder in Paris their Miraculous, believing the Kwamis would be safer if separated from the Miracle Box. The last-minute decision is one I'm excited to watch play out during Season 6. As I've always believed the other heroes should have kept their Miraculouses, like Ladybug and Cat Noir. To me, I thought the heroes wasted valuable time having Ladybug deliver each Miraculous whenever trouble arose. The inclusion of more heroes is a welcome change of pace, but with so many wielders, Miraculouses, and Kwamis to keep track of, Ladybug should insist on a new list of rules for her fellow heroes to follow. These rules should help the heroes act more efficiently and prevent them from stepping on one another's toes. So, in today's video, I'll review 8 rules I believe Ladybug should utilize in Season 6.
Now that he's joined the team. Forever. Ready, Miraculous team?
Number 1. Limiting Miraculous use. The first rule I can see Ladybug using is limiting Miraculous use among the other wielders. In most cases, Ladybug and Cat Noir have successfully defeated villains without outside help. Their teamwork and unique powers are usually all it takes to outsmart threats in Paris. Granted, there are occasions where specific villains require a different skill set, or a more powerful opponent means Ladybug must call on allies to have a fighting chance. However, these instances are few and far between, and they certainly wouldn't require every hero to arrive on the scene. There would be an oversaturation of good guys versus bad, leading to an easy defeat and an uninteresting episode for the audience. To combat this, Ladybug should request that the other wielders keep their Miraculous use to a minimum. They could transform after hearing about an Akuma alert and spend time evacuating civilians and watching from the rooftops to help track their enemy. Otherwise, they should be advised to stay out of the fray unless specifically called upon by Ladybug or Cat Noir. This way, the heroes on active duty will have less to worry about and have backup on standby at any time. It also allows the episode to continue its usual format of 2 heroes against the daily villain, with their allies occasionally stepping in to lend a helping hand.
Milan Hapra, I am proud to entrust you with the Miraculous of the Mouse. You will use it for the greater good.
Number 2. Mandatory training. I'm genuinely surprised that mandatory training isn't something the series explored in the previous seasons. Master Fu turned naive and inexperienced teenagers onto the streets of Paris hoping that they would be able to harness and control their powers, especially Adrien, who has abilities that can literally destroy the world if he isn't careful. Considering how cautious and concerned Master Fu was with the safety of the Miraculouses, I feel like he should have done more to help Marinette and Adrien truly realize their potential and understand the significance of their responsibilities. The concern expressed by Suhan in his debut episode was valid, and Marinette should take it seriously moving forward. Mandatory training could help wielders learn about their Kwamis, how to harness their powers, and to work as a team. I'm a big fan of there being other groups within the French superhero team, like how Ladybug has Cat Noir, Rena Rouge could have Carapace, and Viperion could have Vesperia. These teams would be called upon if Ladybug and Cat Noir are unavailable to handle akumatized villains, or complete their daily patrols.
Let me remind you about some of the perfect precepts that you have broken. Precept 14, Kwamis must not live outside the box.
Number 3, a strike system. For the safety of everyone involved and the people in Paris, Ladybug should institute a strike system that ensures the other wielders are following the rules and being cautious. Most of the people Marinette picks to become wielders are trustworthy, and I doubt they would do anything to jeopardize their standing in the team. However, everyone makes mistakes, and a few of them have already become deserving of a strike in this hypothetical system. Something like Chloe's actions should warrant a strike, if not a complete removal from the team, as she used her powers to harm others and revealed her identity to the entire world. Likewise, Nino told Adrien about his identity as Carapace and that Alia is Rena Rouge. It's one thing to jeopardize his own identity, and another to out the other heroes. If I were Ladybug, I would not allow these things to slide and would have consequences in place for when they occurred. Hopefully by doing so, she can ensure that her team remains careful and cautious moving forward.
Being a superhero isn't only about fixing messes. Count it!
Number 4, mental health checks. I appreciate that Miraculous Ladybug isn't afraid to touch on mental health and repercussions of such straining responsibilities. Marinette and Adrien alike have each had times where their hero work became too much and they questioned their competence and reliability. Marinette in particular is often a subject of mental health discussions, as she spirals with anxiety and succumbs to panic attacks when her job becomes too much. These are all valid reactions to being a hero, because maintaining a second life as Ladybug is incredibly demanding. With that in mind, I do think Marinette would be very understanding if her fellow heroes struggled to keep up with their new responsibilities. Some of these people, like Juleka and Sabrina, have a history of struggling to speak up for themselves, so it would be beneficial if Ladybug had regular check-ins with her team to touch base and discuss how they're feeling about their work. Not to mention, poor mental health could lead to more akumatizations, and the last thing the heroes need is to lose one of their own to the new Hawkmoth.
So, that was hilarious, right? I'm cracking up.
Number 5. Kwami care. A requirement for every Miraculous wielder is that they must care for their Kwami. We see this throughout the series, through Marinette and Adrian's relationship with their magical partners, where they provide them their favorite foods, find medical care when necessary, and get to know them through sharing experiences and heartfelt conversations. I'm sure everyone in the French superhero team would do the same and likely have distinct and interesting relationships with their Kwamis already. This is also something I'm looking forward to seeing in the 6th season, as previously there were limited wielders and Kwami interactions, save for a select few. Unfortunately, Marinette knows firsthand what could become of a Kwami when they're not cared for properly. There are numerous examples throughout the series, such as Natalie using the Peacock Miraculous despite it being damaged, and Gabriel abusing Nuru at every turn. There's also the incident in the parallel universe that occurred in Miraculous World Paris, where alternate versions of Tiki and Plague were controlled by their wielders and prevented from speaking entirely. After experiencing these unfortunate situations, Marinette will likely check in with the Kwamis and ask how they are settling in with their wielders on a regular basis. This way, she ensures that everyone is bonding appropriately and that the Kwamis' needs are always met.
Tiki, Plague, reveal yourselves!
Number 6. Miraculous restrictions. We learn early on that wielding multiple Miraculouses at the same time can have disastrous consequences on someone's physical limitations and mental health. Master Fu and Waze admit that Marinette is one of the few people who successfully wielded numerous Miraculouses at the same time. To this date, she's one of the few characters who could have wielded more than 2 Miraculouses at the same time without experiencing physical illness or mental strain. Ignoring the fact that she's the main character, we can assume that Marinette is one of a kind and that her fellow wielders would struggle if they used more than one Miraculous. To keep everyone safe and prevent them from experiencing the same struggles as Monarch, Ladybug should place restrictions on how many Miraculouses wielders are allowed to use at one time. There shouldn't be much need for unifications when every Miraculous is already accounted for. However, there could be times when a hero is indisposed of or out of town and needs to leave their Miraculous with someone else. If the Miraculous is needed in their absence, then another hero would need to harness their power to get the job done. Yet these circumstances should allow for unification, but should be few and far between. Ladybug should advise that these types of unifications must be kept to a minimum, and that the heroes shouldn't try one another's powers for curiosity's sake alone.
Merging Miraculous would give you way too much power. It could make you lose your mind.
Number 7. Emergency plans. By far, the creation of emergency plans is the most in-character thing I could think of for Marinette when planning for the future. We've had 5 seasons of her mapping out every move with Adrian, creating contingency plans when they fail, and having her future planned out despite only being in her early teens. Marinette isn't someone who likes the unknown, and this personality trait extends to Ladybug, as it can sometimes interfere with her work and impact her effectiveness. Although she made the decision to give out the Miraculouses, I wouldn't bat an eye if she felt nervous about the decision or came to regret it. To ease her own mind and ensure everyone stays safe, Ladybug should have emergency plans in place in case something drastic happens. These emergency plans should include instances where a teammate loses their Miraculous, becomes compromised, or they're overwhelmed with an akumatized villain. The events of the 4th season's finale is the type of situation Ladybug would want to avoid. If there is an instance where a villain threatens the entire world, then her team will need to be ready. I'm not sure what these emergency plans could be, specifically because Ladybug is known for coming up with convoluted and multifaceted plans, but I know they'll exist nonetheless, because Ladybug always learns from her past mistakes.
Hey there, I'm Cat Noir, and you are?
I'm a purple tigress.
Number 8. Training to limit akumatizations. Although I already mentioned training, I think this type should have its own category due to how important it is. In the 4th season, Ladybug discovered how to create magical charms that protect others from akumatizations. Unfortunately, no one knew that for the charms to work effectively, they needed to believe in themselves to completely repel an Akuma. Mr. Damocles made this discovery towards the end of the 5th season. And now that everyone knows how they work, I have a feeling that the magical charms will have a more prominent role to play in the next season. However, Mega Akumas have been known to break past the charm's defenses and inhabit a host. Since the charms can't be considered a fail-safe all the time, the hero should have another means of protecting themselves against akumatizations to ensure the Miraculouses don't become compromised. Their secondary defense has already been presented to us throughout the series, not only from Suhan but also Miss Bustier, who repels an Akuma through meditation. Likewise, the Guardians have a mantra that calms the mind and creates a barrier between them and an Akuma. As a Guardian in training, I assume Luca has already learned this mantra and can protect himself. This makes him someone Ladybug and Cat Noir can rely on, and also means he can teach his fellow heroes to defend themselves.
Sometimes a revolution can also be won with words.
While some of these rules seem strict, Marinette is known for covering all of her bases when it comes to the unknown. She won't want to lose the Miraculouses as she did in the past, so she's going to put significant restrictions on her fellow wielders. From what we've seen from the leaks of Season 6 so far, it does seem like Marinette's anxiety and stress is going to get the best of her early on. If this is the case, then Ladybug may pull out all the stops as the guardian of the Chinese Miracle Box. Fortunately, her caution isn't misplaced, as Lila is sure to be their most dangerous adversary yet.
If you didn't make me so angry, Butterfly wouldn't have detected our emotions, kitty catty!
Don't get angry!
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
No more automatic detransformation, but the price to pay for that is... terrible.